The number of confirmed deaths has passed 200. The governor has called a state of emergency.
Hundreds and hundreds of bodies.
Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Last of Us Survivor Difficulty video walkthrough. This is Chapter 10, Fireflies. This is, for all intents and purposes, the final mission of the game. This is the last bastion between the end of Joel and Ellie's story, and also the pivotal moment where a hell of a lot of plot points and twists and turns and peaks and valleys come to a final summation. Is it going to be the ending that you want it to be? I don't know. Is it going to be the ending that it needed to be? I don't know. One thing that is for sure is the game ends. And it ends perhaps not the way that you think it's going to end. But this sequence here is nothing but action. I am going to be stealth killing every single person in this room. Mainly because they're all carrying M16s or M4s or some derivative, and I need, I need to get past it. And it's easier to do it this way than it is to go guns blazing. So there's a guy over here with what looks like a shotgun. I use the wall so that I can set up the choke. I put him down. And there's the first guy. If shit hits the fan, I do have 2 insta-kills with the axe, and they do work on the armoured guys, but hopefully we won't need to use those. The final room of this level is a room that I've stealthed all the way to the end of it and tried to get to the door, but Joel did not interact with the door, so it makes me believe that you have to kill everything in the room, so there's no point in even doing it. So the final room, I'm going to be using every bit of ammo, every bullet, every single thing I have, and we'll be getting through that with as much ease as we get through this, hopefully. But this is the room that you start in. I've come back here to get a bottle. It's inadvertent, but it works in my favour. You'll notice the flashlights give away where the people are, so use that to your advantage to try and isolate them, see the paths, see if they've got any company, and then divide and conquer. So this guy is super curious this way. He's going to continue to walk towards this room, so this gives us a perfect opportunity to take him out. So get behind him, tap the triangle button, get him grabbed, choke him out, another guy down. If you want to know when you fucked up, if he doesn't do the choke and he does the throw down and knee in the face or kick in the face or punch in the throat move, that means that you've done a violent takedown as opposed to a stealth takedown, and that will initiate combat with everybody. So this guy kind of heard what just happened, or he's just real curious, so we can now use that to his disadvantage and take him out. There's a quick choke on this dude, and immediately I'm going to go behind the tables or go out of the room to see if anybody else has noticed what's happening. So there's his assault rifle. The assault rifle is kind of strange because it's one of the weapons you pick up that you can't upgrade. So this guy comes, sees the bodies, and starts moving this way, and what we've got effectively here is a train of AI problems. These people are seeing the bodies, they're moving into our trap, and we're taking advantage of that reliability. And it worked to charm. I didn't expect it to go this way, but it just kind of did. So I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth, and if you can simulate this kind of strategy, you'll have equal success. But he goes down as well. Couple of things to note: when you move forward into the next areas, the enemies will trip the spawn when you pass a certain area, and sometimes the spawns aren't fair, and I don't know why I expect them to be fair. There's a part of me that believes that games, fundamentally should be fair, but I appreciate at the same time sometimes they're at the most fun or at the most evocative when they're not being fair. And there's a very interesting philosophical discussion there about the merits of, good gameplay or good game design in respect to fair game design. But these two people have gone from being passive to being not hostile but aware. They've gone into the edgy mode where they're cautious, and he looked to the right, which enabled me to grab him and take him down. And this bit kind of sucks now, because there's a guy whose AI is really weird and stupid, and it gets stuck. And it gets stuck where it'll look at one direction and then not move. And it turns out that there's 2 guys covering each other, and I don't know if they've gone into a panic mode, like an army of 2 formation. What I do know is, like, you look at the right, you see a torch, and the torch does not turn the other way, so it gives you no opening to take him down, unless you throw a bottle. So I think, I'll go to the left and take him from behind, and then when you get to the left, there's a guy there doing the exact same thing. And it's just this cock block of, what is the point in this sequence? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. So I come over here, and I see, I'm like, he never turned round, why is he turned round? And he's looking around, and he's doing his little thing, and I'm thinking, hang on a second, and then I look there and I see the other torch. So it's not the guy turning around, it's two guys. And at this moment I'm thinking, what the hell am I going to do? Because I don't want to mess up this so far, because we've took out so many guys and it's gone so well. So instead, I throw a bottle, both the guys turn around, and for some reason the guy in front of me doesn't hear this. And because his AI path is so strict that he's just looking in these two spots, he never even responds. And then when I get close to him, he starts moving. Like, why does he start moving? And this bit, I don't even get this. Was that guy there the entire time? Or is that a spawn that triggered because I'd just eliminated those two people? Like, where does this guy come from? And it's literally that moment of complete serendipity where how he didn't see me, I couldn't tell you. And when you're playing, if he sees you, it's just that moment of, you got unlucky. There is the hostile kill, but luckily enough, that is everybody in this room dead. They're all taken out, and we can push forward, we can loot the remainder of the hospital ward, and then we can get on and try and find Ellie. The next room is not so bad, if you know what you're doing. One of them is really easy because you can skip the entire encounter, but the game doesn't really convey that that's what it wants you to do. So if you don't, you can get yourself into a really shitty situation. And I did on hard. I ended up getting into a firefight that you can completely avoid. But the luxury of such mistakes is that when I make these videos for people who are having trouble, you don't have to make my mistakes. You get to learn from the fact I learned from my mistakes. And that is one of the best things about being able to impart knowledge, you know, across the internet, is the stuff that I did and the things that I found don't necessarily have to be the things that happen to you. And I think that can be really empowering and encouraging for a lot of players, because I've already got a lot of comments of people saying, I can't wait for this guide to go up so that I can use it to play this difficulty, because this difficulty is going to be hard and I don't think I can do it without your help. And those people probably can do it without my help. It's just, it's always nice to have that safety blanket. So this sequence here, if you get behind this bar area, this, I don't even know what it is, it's like a desk, like a counter, you can wait for those guys to run past you. When you go into this next area, there's a super cheap spawn coming up. The door you have to go through is about to be opened by one guy, so shoot him and run to the door. Don't mess about, just take him out. And once he's dead, run, hit that door, and the people that have just ran past who just heard those gunshots will not come and give you any problems. He's then going to put this chair here, and this cutscene didn't make any sense when I first did it, because I killed everybody. So who the hell is he stopping from coming through that door? I had no idea. But you want to make sure everything's loaded, everything that you've got is, you know, ready to go, because the next ward we're going to be moving on to is one of the more combat heavy places in the game, and you probably can stealth your entire way through it, but the way it's set out, I find it easier to just go guns blazing. And there's not been many moments of this game where I've told you to immediately go guns blazing, but this is one of those parts. Because there is so many guys, they are so heavily armoured, they've got so much firepower that you can take out a bunch of them, and if you trigger them to know where you are, you're pretty much dead in seconds. And it happens in a really frustrating manner, because you haven't seen me take that many shots, but when you're trying to move and you get shot, Joel flinches, because he's not Arnold Schwarzenegger in Raw Deal, and you can get almost stun-locked by gunfire, and it's really annoying. And I'm not saying it should be changed or anything, it's just one of those things where, because it had never happened to me, I didn't realise how much of a ball ache it was when it did. But now that we've done that anyhow, we can push forward, and we're coming to the area that I mentioned that is, I'm not going to say it's tough, because on this particularly walkthrough, or recording run for this, I did it the second time. First time I got, I think, to the last few guys, and a dude came from behind me with a shotgun, and instead of taking the death, I just restarted the sequence, because I knew I could do it better. And on this particular one, it just, I don't know, it just kind of worked. Like, I've tried a variety of strategies for this room, and none of them seem to be any better than the others. It's one of those things where there doesn't seem to be one way that makes it better. And I tried sneaking around through the officers and getting behind them and fighting them from that vantage point. I tried a whole bunch of stuff, but in the end, it got to the point where I literally just ran forward into cover and shot the first guy in the face. That initiates the fight. Everybody's, knows what they're doing. We know what's happening. It's War 101, and it just seemed to work better when all the illusions of, of stealth and sophistication were gone. And when it just became gritty shooting dudes, it worked the best. That being said, this first part here, I'm going to be using Molotovs to my advantage because, as you know, Molotovs and bombs, when you throw them, the enemy doesn't know where they came from. Like, I think there's a percentage of a chance if they're looking directly where you are and you throw something, I think they might be able to tell. But if they don't, they are deadly. And one of the cool things here is if you can get the enemies to cloister together, you've got some real easy kills. Like, I've got 2 more Molotovs here. And it's one of those moments where I wish I actually had another brick or a bottle, or I should have crept out of the room and found another. But instead, I throw the Molotov to get the attention of more people. That gets his attention. There is a second guy, but I don't think he comes in line. And it's that point where I think, I've got the stuff now, I might as well use it. And I'm thinking about throwing a smoke bomb here, or a sugar bomb, or whatever they're called. But I hold back, and I push forward a little bit just so I can survey the battlefield. And did you see that just then? 2 guys were coalescing together. This is the perfect opportunity for the Molotov, and I missed it. I totally missed it, because I was being too cautious. And it's moments like that, guys, that you have to try and be in tune with, because if you can get more than one guy with a Molotov, that is not a wasted Molotov. This guy's going to come this way too, so I think I'm going to grab him. So I'm anticipating him coming up against the wall, wait for him to enter. He's playing a little bit of a funny bastard with it, and then he comes in, and oh no, I just smack him with an axe. Didn't even want to risk it then, just hit him with the old hatchet. So as you can see, nobody responds because it was at a decent distance so that nobody heard it. And everybody's just doing their thing, so now we can push up. But when we get to the lower end of this place, once I run out of projectiles, because this is the last combat sequence of the game, guys. Use everything you've got. There's no reason to save it. It's not like you're going to use it again. Just use it all. And after this, once I'm run out of throwing things, I'm just going to put on whatever gun I've got and I'm going to start going for heads. It's that simple. It gets a little bit tricky here because he goes off to the right and I don't know what he's going to do. But luckily enough for us, he carries on round his path away from where we are, but then he turns around and then he comes back. So he gets the Molotov and everybody else gets the guns. So it just goes to show, man, the AI can screw you. If you're aware that he's going to do that, act accordingly, get out of the way, don't push forward as far as I did, wait for him to get into a better position, take him out and then Molotov these guys. Because the thing that sucks here is these people are dug in and they're very accurate. So what I do is I throw smoke bombs and then I shoot through the smoke, but I make a mistake here. I didn't remember where the second guy's head was, in reference to where I was aiming. I only knew the first guy and that's because I could see the bugger. So I'm in a situation where I could shoot him now if I knew where he was, but I don't want to, and I wait for the smoke to go down before I get the kill, because I believe that this is the last guy. This might be the last guy of The Last of Us. And the smoke bombs are great. Look at them. They last for ages. They're super useful. There he is. I can see him. Get him, Chris. Shoot him. Shoot him in the face. There's 2 of them. You see that guy? 2 of them. So he's glinting. I don't know why he's glinting. Do you think he's got a scope on his weapon? Do you think that's from the... Maybe he's got a magnum with a scope on it? And what I'm doing here is, if you put your bottle on, it gives you a reticle from your hip. And what I was testing throughout the game was to see if that reticle was one-to-one with your aimer, so that you put your bottle on, you get the reticle on their face, swap to your gun, and when you aim, is it the exact same place you put that aimer? And my results were not great. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work. And as you saw just then, it didn't seem to translate directly, so not a technique you can use to manipulate anything. But still, you've done the last fight of the game. Everything now from here on is expositional and heavily spoiler based. So you've been warned. Go up to the door. Here is the operating theatre. There is the surgeon. And you never point a scalpel at Joel. It doesn't end well. It just doesn't end well for that dude. And you can probably kill the other doctors if you want to here, but I just go up to Ellie, I pick her up, and then there is a fantastic scene here that is literally the intro. If you remember when he had Sarah and he was carrying her, there are so many parallels. And then the music kicks in, as you can hear. God, it's such a fucking beautiful sequence, guys. Like, this game, I'm getting shivers now, just from reminding myself of how much this game is so many things. And you're in no threat here. I think the only threat is banging Ellie's head on a door, but you probably can't even do that. And all that's left is to hit the elevator and end the sequence. So there's one more video after this, the epilogue. But thank you for watching, folks. I hope the guide helped, and you take care now.